Hi there, it's Hélène again with another video. I am so happy to have you here with me. I am wanting to talk about the results of my latest brand new focus. And the brand new focus this time around was Ciaté and Colourpop. So here are the couple of palettes that I was using. The Semi-Precious was a holiday offering last year at Sephora, as was the Chloe Morello #2 collab with Ciaté. And I wanted to talk about those couple of palettes. I have been using them for 11 days now, and I feel like I have enough information to tell you what it was like and to have basically formulated an opinion. Now, these palettes were not the only thing that I was trying. It was a brand new focus. So I went and pulled out what I have from this collection, as well as anything else I have from Ciaté, which is not very much. So the other things I'm going to be talking about are the items that I have from that collection: a mascara, a liner, and a lipstick, as well as a couple of other lipsticks that I have. They're the Liquid Velvet from Ciaté. So let's get into it. I think I'm going to go over the Ciaté Morello, the second collab that I have first. It has the greatest number of shadows, and it also served very often as the base for any time I used Colourpop. If you are curious to know what is on my eyes and lips today, it is definitely Ciaté and Colourpop. I will have everything I used in the description down below, which I always do, by the way. Okay, so if we take a look at the palette, if you haven't seen the intro, it has a mirror, and you can see me there. Oh, hello. And it comes with, I love the fact that it folds over, and it comes with 20 shades. Now, I was blown away by this palette. There is no other way of saying it. If there is a third Ciaté Morello to collab that comes on sale, like this one was basically 50 off. I think I had the palette, when I looked at the value, this palette came out to about 20 bucks Canadian. Wow, just wow. I had heard good reviews about the first collab, and so that kind of helped me decide that when this came on sale that I would, like as in discounted, I would try it out. And my hope for this palette was that it would help me displace some of the modern Renaissance reddish pinks that I had been interested in, and that had some as well of the neutrals that I would have been seeking out of that palette. Well, it did more than that. I really don't have any appeal for or wish right now for the modern Renaissance, which was like my go-to wish for this fall. And it also possibly has displaced my wish for the Norvina, which that just kind of blows me away. So let's just get through all the colors. I am wearing mostly Colourpop today, but I can tell you that I am wearing Pony in the crease, as well as Violet, topless on the brow bone as well. And Violet I'm also wearing along the lower lash line, and I'm also wearing Beauty on the lower lash line as well. So for some reason, I only used Beauty, which is basically a matte black, once, and I don't know why. I tended to go for the Mecha and the Marron colors, as far as deepening of the crease and that kind of thing, and I have no idea why I didn't really use Beauty. So I'm glad I used it today, because I definitely will dip more into it. Using a brow brush to get the eyeshadow on the lower lash line, I find works really well, and I'm happy with what it did for me today. So let's go through the various colors. I found that the neutrals, like if you're just going to use this palette, These relative neutrals, neutral mattes, I should say, like these two, this one, this one, this one, very wearable colors. I had a feeling that Pony was going to be my favorite, and I was right. The first time I put it on, I was like, oh my God, I love this thing. I was really surprised at how well Mecha and Marron build up. You can take a little bit on your blush. Everything, by the way, on this, in this 20 shade palette, blends like a dream. The colors are fantastic. So I know it's not available anymore. What I'm trying to say is if there's another collab, I would suspect it would be this kind of a quality, and I will definitely be keeping my eye out for more Ciaté products. If they do this for a limited edition release, this quality, I can only imagine what their usual go-to shades are like, or like the quality of their shadows. The first look I did was using these guys over here. And I went straight to my comfort zone. I wanted to right away try out those purples and see what the resulting look would be. The first look I did, I was just blown away. It just looked so good. And then these shimmery purples pair really well with this violet. Don't get worried about the deep shade of this violet. I'm wearing it. I have it under, like, over, pardon me, Pony on here, and it just set a beautiful rosy magenta, but really just a wash of color. Like I said, it blended really well. So these guys, I had to, after using them once for these guys, I had to say no more. No more using those, because you're going to use them the whole time. And so for the rest of the 11 days, I went all over the palette. So I've used everything at least once. Now, if I only used something once, though, because I'm going to get into the frequency that I use the shades, it is not an indication of whether I liked it or not. It was more of an indication of needing to try other shades in the palette, because 11 days, 20 shades, it's not a huge amount of time. And I don't want to just put eyeshadow on my eye just to put eyeshadow to say I used it. I think that's kind of silly. So I used a lot of Topless, a lot of Pony, mostly Nini, not so much Cocoa, but this one a lot, these guys a lot. And of course, they're the matte neutrals that help you build a look, so that's not a surprise. I used Gold and Halo just a few times. I'll get into the frequency. And these guys, I made myself use at least once, and I say made myself, just made a point of using them in a look once. I know I like the platinum and the kind of light baby blue electric colors as well, so that was not a problem. This looked quite nice. It gives you a basic eye with maybe an inner lid with that shimmer. It's pretty basic. These were a no-brainer for me. Copper and bronzy shades look really good usually on me. And then these guys, I said when I introduced this brand new focus that I was intrigued by that color, or that pairing of colors. Chartreuse is one that I was absolutely not disappointed in. It really showed a lot of beautiful shimmer. I did apply it first with the brush, and then I finished with going over it with my fingertip, and it looked beautiful. The one that I was kind of surprised at, though, is Soul. I did not try it wet, but I can tell you that it took a while to build up. And I also I used it on the outer lid and in the crease, and I ended up using my finger to really bring that color out. But the combination of the two, I'm glad they're side by side in the palette. The combination of the two for inner lid going to outer lid is beautiful. Soul really, despite the fact that it's a shimmer, you can really put it very flatteringly into the crease, and it looked gorgeous. I don't use that word very often. And frankly, I did this, I think, the second or third day. I think it was the second day, I'm not sure anymore. And I thought, no, you can't do this look again. you have to move on. So I think that this combination is going to be a go-to look, and I've talked about my challenges with wearing green eyeshadow and the fact that I've found another pairing beyond that 10-year-old shadow that I keep talking about. Wow, I was really, really happy with it. Now, when I used more neutrals from this palette, I was going in with the Colourpop palette to add to it. So today, as I mentioned, I have violet in the crease. I had pony first, violet in the crease, and then I went in with a bunch of Colourpop shadows. So I have Easy Go, this guy, in the crease and on the outer lid. I have this guy, which is Bashful. It's a green. I don't know if it's showing up all that much, but it is green. Bashful, maybe next to my shirt you can tell more it's green, but it's called Bashful, and it's kind of like a silvery olive green, if I can say that. It's not taupe, there's definitely olive green in it. So that was inner lid. And then on the center lid, I used the Game, which is this one. So I just wanted the center lid to pop a little bit more, because with the, what's it called, the Easy Go and then Bashful, these two, outer and then inner, the line between the two, even though I tried to blend, was just a little bit too harsh. And going in with the Game in the center just seemed to kind of mellow things out. And I repeated those three shimmers along the lower lash line as well. So it's a little bit below the black on each side. I don't know if it's popping up quite as much as I would like because of the black, I think it's called Beauty from the Ciaté palette, but I thought I would mention it anyway. So if you are curious about the frequency with which I used the shadows, because I think that that is how you make an impression, is by using shadows often. I'm just going to go row by row. So this is going to be number one going over, and then the next row over, and so on. Although I think that if I hold it close enough, you'll be able to see the names. So I used Topless a lot for my brow bone, 5 times, Halo twice, Cocoa once, Nini 4 times, Gold once, Baby once, and that's because I was holding myself back. Like I said, I was holding myself back from using some colors the whole time. Because Baby Violet, Jelly Bean, Renegade, and Morello Cherry, that whole line, I could have used like for the whole time that I was doing this. All of that second row I used once, except for Violet that I used twice, the second time being today. Pony I used 4 times. It was such a great base to build upon. Platinum I used once, Ellie once, I think it's Mecha or Mecca. I think it's Mecha. Twice, Beauty once, which was today. Rose Gold once, that one was really early on. I think it was within the first 3 days. Yeah, it was the 3rd day. Copper once, Copper was just yesterday, actually 2 days ago. And Marron was 4 times. Soul was once, and Chartreuse once. As I mentioned, I fell in love with that look, and I was like, no, try other stuff. So my impressions of this palette, I got it in the spring, and we are now end of August, and I waited until now to do a brand new focus on it. I don't know why I waited this long. I have over 50 palettes. This is in my top, I'm going to say top 10 because I have a lot of fabulous palettes, but I'm going to have trouble moving on from this now that the brand new focus is done, because it is really, really a great palette, and I have a trip coming up in September, and it is a strong contender for what I'm going to be bringing with me. And I've never brought a palette this big on a trip. I probably will talk myself out of it because I don't want to wreck it, but gosh, it's good. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about the next palette. Okay, so Colourpop's Semi Precious. Now, last time I looked on Colourpop, this one was still available. I don't know if that is the fact, but I got it for a steal. I think I got it for like $15 when it was on clearance during the holidays. And all of these colors are fantastic. There's only one color, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, there's only one color that I did not use, and it was this one called Up and Atom. And because I tend to wear a lot of bronzes, I think that that's why it did not call to me. But it's a beautiful color. There's nothing wrong with it. Like, it's very pretty. But I just didn't go for it. And part of it was as well that I had a couple of bronzy colors as well in the Chloe Morello, and they're both shimmery. So I just didn't see the reason to go in and do extra and go into the Colourpop. But given that every other shade in the Colourpop palette was nice, I didn't see why I would expect something else from this one. I think it's great. So anyway, let's just go and talk about each one of these as well and how often I use them. I really only use the Colourpop as an accent. I think they're very kind of glittery, shimmery, too much to use all over the eye, just in my opinion, although I'm wearing a lot of shimmer today. So let's just go over it. So again, from this side to this side, so from, I guess, your left to right. Celestial, the first one I used twice, and it was really nice for inner corner. Like if I went with a lot of color, to have that one as inner corner worked really well. Not inner corner, but pardon me, inner lid is what I'm trying to say. Beam Me Up, which was kind of the icy blue, really pretty. I really am big in with the blue in the mint edition by Lorac, and I think that that matte along with this beautiful shimmery glitter would be a fantastic combination, so I might try that. The third one, Easy Go, I used once, and that was today. Like I said, Up and Atom, apart from swatching it today, I did not use. West Star, first one on the second row, I used once. Bashful, the second one on the second row, I used once, and that was again today. And Upon a Star, I used once as well, this guy. And then the last one, The Game, is the one I put on my inner lid, but I was considering this one. That's why I'm kind of confused. But no, this is the one I used today. I really like this palette. There were a couple of options for Colourpop from the last season. There was this one, and I think Golden Hour was the other one. And Golden Hour, there's been some I'm going to say some discontent with that palette, but I would definitely say that this one is really good. It performed as well as I hoped, and the price point was absolutely fantastic, which is normal for Colourpop. And it has convinced me that Colourpop has good shadows, and that I would be well advised to pay attention. I would like to see them back at Sephora. I don't think that's going to happen, but they're not available easily in Canada, so I'm not big on the whole customs thing. So I'm just going to bide my time and hope that they will show up in some way, shape, or form back in Canada at some point. But with 8 big pans of this stuff, I'm going to have a lot to play with for a very long time. So that's it for eyeshadows. Let's just talk about the other few products that I had in this brand new focus. It's very eyeshadow heavy, but I do have a few other products. Let's talk about the rest of the eye stuff first, since we are on eyeshadow, and that is the Fierce Flicks. And the tip looks like this. I was a little concerned at the beginning when I looked at it in the brand new focus intro video. I thought, whoa, that's a big tip. Is it going to be able to be so precise? I didn't do a great wing today, but I can tell you that if I wanted a very fine line, I was able to achieve it with this pencil. It does not tug. Liquid liner, well, the fluid, I guess, just easily comes off the pen. It does a very good job. It is a full size that I'm really happy to have received in the kit, and I will keep using this one. I have a couple of samples that I want to get through, but this one will definitely be a keeper that I will keep using as it makes sense for me to bring back into my rotation. So I think it's a good liner. I wouldn't pay over 20 bucks for it, but I like it, I have it, and I'm going to use it. I think the value when I was looking at buying the box was I gave it like a $10 value. And for the value of the box and what I really paid for it, which is around 10 bucks in the way I allocated it, I thought it was a really good product. But then again, I'm not somebody who would pay 20, 25 bucks for a liner, so take my thoughts for what it's worth. The other thing that was in for eyes in the box was the Wonder Wand that I keep wanting to call Wonderland Wand for some reason. And I like the hourglass type shape of the brush. That's the type of brush that I really like, so I have a bias towards that brush. I like the Monsieur Big from Lancôme. Actually, I love that one. And I really enjoy the Lash Paradise from L'Oreal, and I like the Better Than Sex waterproof, not the regular, the waterproof for the same kind of lots of volume to the lashes, and this one did the same thing. Now it is a sample, so I find that it's already kind of drying up, but you know, it's a sample. I can't complain. It's just not a whole lot of product, and I did use it for the 12 days, or sorry, 11 days that I'd used all these products, and I used it every single day. I'm going to keep using it until it's you know, unusable, but even though it's getting a little bit dry, and like I say, a little bit dry, it's probably going to last me again till for the equivalent of 30 days, which would be a month. But I haven't noticed any flaking yet, which the last mascara I had to declutter was absolutely ridiculous. It wasn't really dry yet, and it was flaking all over the place. If you're curious, it's the Black Onyx by Clinique. Ugh, terrible. But this one hasn't done anything like that yet, and so I'm happy with it. I'm not mad at it. I think I'm going to keep using it till I can't anymore. And the last one is the Liquid Velvet from the collection, and it is the Sydney color, and this was a color made specifically for this collection, so it's not in the typical Ciaté Liquid Velvet line, although Ciaté has a lot of beautiful colors. It is a lot darker on than it is in the tube, which is kind of normal for liquid velvets, but I like the color. I wore it twice so far, and yeah, I like it, and I will keep using it. I was using a lot of different lipsticks over the last 11 days, so I didn't keep it to Ciaté, and just because of what I was doing, I was wearing a lot of glosses and washes of color as opposed to liquid lipsticks. So these didn't get a whole lot of attention, and I think that these lipsticks I would go toward a lot more in the winter than in the summer. So like I said, Ciaté I've worn twice, and then these guys I wore once each. So I wore this one around the beginning of the project, and I am wearing this one in the video previous to this one. So if you watch a little bit earlier in my videos, I'm wearing a black top. I am wearing the Ciaté Bittersweet in that video. Do I like these liquid lips? Yes, they are more comfortable than some more dry versions. And I'll say they're fine. I wouldn't say that these guys are my favorites. Just give you another view of the colors. I wouldn't say that they're my favorites, but I would say that they're not bad. I'm not likely to purchase any other Ciaté liquid lipsticks, but I have to say that the eyeshadows left a heck of an impression. So I can't say it enough. This was a lot of fun as a brand new focus and gave me a real appreciation for what the Ciaté brand brings to the table when it comes to eyeshadow. I hope this brand new focus kind of outcome, how was it, was of use, and I look forward to your feedback in the comments. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like the content on this channel in general, please consider subscribing. That's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next video. Take care.